Ugh, what a supremely cozy day. It's been raining the last couple of days and I've kind of been feeling under the weather, so I was like, this is so perfect. I'm gonna be a couch blob and just kind of like lean into the start of fall. Happy equinox. It's just so excited. I'm doing a shop update on Thursday, so I'm very excited about that. We're also having our first craft and hang in the Discord community tomorrow. So just lots of fun new things and getting back into this routine and rhythm. I guess I'm not really in my normal routine because I'm just like working from the couch and not at my desk, but I have a meeting I have to prepare for, so I kind of have to get myself together and have a little lunch. It's already 1 p.m. I've also been wearing the same outfit for the last like 3 days in a row. But last night I had my first class for my certification program. If you don't remember, I am enrolled in a trauma-informed coaching certification, and basically I wanted to do this because I want to better support the clients that I'm working with now. I just feel like trauma is a part of all of our lives, both big T and little t. I've had a lot of trauma in my life, and that healing journey and being creative, doing my business, traveling, rewilding, reconnecting, like all of the things that I've talked about on this channel are huge in my healing journey. But even just being a business owner and going through this journey of being self-employed, building my business, and just pursuing this creative life has been hugely healing for me, and I've grown so much in that process. I'm still growing and learning every day, but I wanted to have the certification to just give me more tools to better support, and the class was so good. I'm going to be in class twice a week, and there is a lot of like classroom just like learning, but also a lot of interaction and actually practicing what we learn and implementing, so I love that so far. But yeah, I think this week is really just about getting back into the swing of things, making a bunch of stuff. So welcome to the vlog, welcome to officially fall. I'm just so excited. Well, that was a lovely meeting and conversation. I got reached out to by this organization called the Conservation Alliance, and they have this program called Brands for Public Lands, and it's like an advocacy task force that partner with small businesses to use their voices for advocacy. And as you know, I'm a 1% for the Planet member already, and a big part of my whole brand and what I care about as a person is protecting our planet, public lands, and all of that. And so what a wonderful meeting. I feel very inspired now. But I think always, it's just like when you connect with people on those types of things, this greater purpose and like, you know, improving the planet and lives for other people, it's just something that matters so much. We even talked a lot about the retreats on that conversation, because I was like, how cool would it be to incorporate a bit of that into the retreats where they have partners and nonprofits around the country, but have experts talk about some of these topics that pertain to where we're going. Like, for example, at Creative Camp, if we're going to be rafting Browns Canyon, maybe it's an advocate from the area that can talk about river conservation and stuff like that. But anyway, just some thoughts, so many things. I just want to be involved in so much stuff, and sometimes I have to tell myself, Shireen, you're only one person, literally. You're not a full-time activist or advocate at all. But I'm feeling jazzed. Arya like chewed up these sticks that I had. Oh my gosh. I gathered these sticks. So there was like this pile of sticks a couple weeks ago, and I just got this wild idea to make like those wall hangings with some of my yarn extras. And I do make the scrappy beanies, and I need to actually get on that. But I was like, there's so much scrap that it would be cool to utilize some of that for wall hangings too. But Arya got a wild hair and chewed some up, which is so hilarious because she never ever chews sticks. Like, it's one of those behaviors where when she does it, I'm like, wait, you are a dog? But I still have some more computer work to do, and I think I'm gonna try to go to yoga and to the hot springs later because my back's hurt from just being a couch potato for the last few days. And I do have to finish some beanies because we're gonna do our first Ohana drop this week. I need to get a couple more photos of the Made Wild Stay Wild patch. I forgot to get a picture of that for the shop update on Thursday. It's all happening. That was a spider. Oh God, that scared me so much. I think I'm going to sell a few of the patches too, and I think people do like patches and then they can put it on whatever they want. They're really nice quality, iron on, and they're actually double sewn onto the hat and ironed on. So I have the two colors of hats, I have the patches, I have the bandanas, and then I'm almost out of the stickers, so I probably do have to reorder soon. But yeah, it'll be more like a mini shop update, and then I'm going to do my first drop off at Ohana with the fall beanies, and then in October is when I'll release the fall collection on the website. So I kind of stagger it a little bit because Ohana definitely starts selling hats sooner than people tend to be shopping on the website for beanies, or at least that's what I've noticed in the last several years that I've been running the business. 8 years, I guess. And obviously trends come and go. Business is always like this, it's a cycle. So we'll see what happens. Well, I am supremely relaxed. I'm so lucky. I feel so grateful. Our local community pool, gym, there's also a hot springs and a sauna there. So I did yoga, a quick hot springs dip, and then chilled out in the sauna for a second, and I feel so much better. And earlier I was like, oh, I'm so cozy at home, I'm just gonna stay here and take a hot shower, but I don't know. I feel so much better right now just from getting out for a second. Happening. It's changing so fast. But I worked with a client this morning and then spent a little bit of time at the coffee shop. But since we were out and about, I was like, let's go on a little hike. I ran a couple errands and Today I basically have to get all of the listings done for the mini shop update tomorrow. It's just a small update, so I feel pretty ready for it. But then the big update's gonna be when I have all of the knitwear. It used to be where I would try to do the fall collection launch right around now, like the end of September. But what I noticed was that it always felt like such a rush, and people weren't as ready to buy beanies yet. Like, things were cooling down, but still pretty warm in a lot of places. And then also by pushing the knitwear launch to later, I'm able to actually get all of these photos from fall, which are going to be really nice. And even just having a little bit more of an on-ramp to share the stuff and to get people excited. And I think for a lot of places in the country, it doesn't even feel like fall yet, so people aren't really in that mindset. I'm actually kind of excited to see what doing that first knitwear launch in October feels like. Compared to years past, and kind of doing this mini collection launch for September just to get people back into this groove, feels like. And as a creative business owner, I think it is always about experimentation and learning and evolving, and things are always changing, right? Like, not even from what we do, but from customer and client behavior, and we kind of have to adapt or at least make changes to adjust to how things are now. And I don't ever want to come at things in a reactive way. It's always from a place of alignment and intention. But that's why I kind of like to work seasonally as well, because it takes a season to really see how something plays out. You can't just try something once and then be like, oh, it didn't work, or oh, that worked. You know, it has to be a little bit repetitive. So anyway, just some thoughts as I'm running out of breath, but we have our first craft and hang in the Discord community tonight of this season, so I'm excited to see some people and hopefully see some new faces too. But yeah, fall is here.
I ended up chatting for way longer than I thought I was for the Discord chat. But I love them so much. It's fun bringing them back again. It's cool seeing like familiar faces and some new faces. So if you came to the Discord chat, thanks for coming. It was so nice to meet you. I am going to try to do them more regularly. So either once a month or once every other week. I don't know with schedules and how busy everything is, but I would love to just make that more of a regular thing because that was so lovely. And it's just, I mean, I talk about this so much, but it's always a reminder like how cool it is to be able to connect with other people like this and, you know, friends from all over the country or the world. And I don't know, the world is a lot smaller than we think it is. And you just have to like reach out and have a conversation. And I don't know, I'm feeling very jazzed, but I need to go make some dinner, and then tomorrow is the shop update, so I probably will have to do a little bit of work after I eat and just get all of the listings scheduled, but you know, that's how it goes.
Good morning. I'm putting the last touches onto the listings before everything goes live. I'm actually gonna go meet Kate for coffee this morning, so I have everything scheduled, and sometimes I just like to have a distraction on a shop update because otherwise I'm just there checking. But I got all the listings scheduled last night. I got the emails scheduled last night. I just have to make an Instagram post. I did not finish the hats for Ohana, so I think I'm just gonna push it back a day, but that's okay. Sometimes you just put these deadlines on yourself and you put too much on your plate, you know? And I think that's what this week is about anyway. It's figuring out what this new rhythm's gonna look like for me, because with class, with all these other obligations in the business, it's like, what do I actually have time for? And like the time and capacity to actually do these things in the way that I want them to be done. Not in the perfectionist way, but more in the, am I putting out a quality product? Am I getting orders shipped in a timely manner? Am I supporting clients in the way that I want them to be supported? Am I making time for fun and to get outside and to see friends? So all of that combined. But that being said, let's go meet Kate for coffee.
I didn't really know what to expect going into this first week of a new routine. This summer was so full of fun, reflection, and getting to work on my business, but this fall is different, and I'll admit I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. It feels like I'm dropping the ball or not keeping up, but I think that's just what change feels like. You can't go through your days like you did before. You need to realign, adjust, and figure out a new rhythm. And you don't always know what needs to shift until you're already in it. Evolution is uncomfortable, but deep down you know when it's time. You feel it in your bones, like a nudge that says you can't keep doing things the way you have been. And even though it's messy, it's also exciting and feels like the beginning of big things. I just have to let it unfold.
Who's gonna make you not blue? Not blue. Blue too. Bad mood. Sort of witty and jaded, but let's not talk about.
Oh, what a week. This week has felt so crazy and it's gone by so quickly. I think I'm gonna have to rethink a few things now that I have school. I've been loving the classes so much. I've had 2 classes so far, and there is homework, but it's not super intensive. But having those 2 big blocks of time in my week for class, has definitely changed and shifted what I need to do in my workday. And obviously this week too, I had my shop update. I was feeling sick at the beginning of the week, so wasn't my usual self. But I've been chatting a lot about slowing down and transitioning into fall and all that kind of stuff. And it's really been making me reflect on what I've been doing. And I think there's just still too much on my plate, especially with running my knitting business and having all that stuff going, building the coaching and mentorship side, and being in school. And then content creation, which I don't think of it as a separate job, but my business coach was mentioning how basically doing content for YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that is its own job. And I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right. It is. It takes up a lot of my time. So I think I might have to rethink my posting schedule for YouTube a little bit. I don't know what that's going to look like. It might just be the format of the videos where it will take less time to edit or something like that. But it's one of those things where I just love being able to share and document the journey with you, to be able to have these chats, and I don't know, hopefully they help you on your journey too. But it's already Friday and this week has just felt like it's flown by, and I'm looking around like there are so many things that I kind of let fall through the cracks this week, or at least things on my to-do list that I didn't get to. And at first I kind of felt like, oh no, I'm like dropping the ball. But the reality is I just had too much on my plate. You know what I mean? So let's all give ourselves some grace. There's a lot going on in the world right now that feels very heavy as well. And I think that's just an added layer to all of this. We'll probably do a lot of knitting together, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, first week of this new routine. I think there's going to be some adjustment going forward. But thank you always for coming along on this journey, and I'll see you in the next video.